Big Guy Fitness, day 26, daily journal. Today's main topic is going to be the 3 things biologically your body has to do to get into ketosis. I'm going to go through them quick, but there's one that kind of surprised me and I wasn't really aware of after doing all this intermittent fasting. And I love the science of it all, so I really try and dig into this, but I never heard this one little hiccup that has to be triggered before you actually go into ketosis and get all the key benefits of your fast. So a lot of us do this, intermittent fasting where you're eating or you're resting for 18 hours and then you're eating for 6 or 16 hours eating for 8. You do 1 meal a day where you're basically a 24-hour fast almost. And then the 24, 48, 60, whatever, 72-hour fast. They all have reasons to hit those markers because your body actually does different things at different points, especially if you're going for gut health and all that. So the 3 things that your body has to happen, and they happen at certain times, is 1, your body has to create ketones, more ketones. And the second thing is your insulin levels have to drop. That's the big important thing that we all focus on, right? So we're all trying to eat foods that don't spike our insulin. If you start eating too many carbs, big bowls of pastas, it's okay to have small spikes and then they're up and down, they come back down quickly. That's why people wear monitors to see because different foods affect different people different ways. So a lot of people wear those monitors to see, okay, I ate this food, an hour later, where's my ketone spike? Is it up or down? So those things are really advantageous. But if you don't have that, there are certain foods that we all know, pastas, there's carbs turn into sugars, just regular sugars, any bready foods. If you're having sandwiches a lot and you're eating really thick breads with a lot of flour and all this, it just all turns into sugar. So you want to avoid those ketone spikes, those insulin spikes. So the first thing you have to do is get those insulin spikes down. Then the second thing is those ketones. The third thing, which is the thing I wasn't really aware of, is the glycogen and glucose, right? You have to start hitting that. But I did not know the kidney, being such a big organ, actually has a reserve, a very small reserve of glucose. And so what that is when you start fasting and you're getting to the point of, okay, we need more energy and we have no food source coming in that we're going to turn into energy, the body starts looking for it elsewhere. So that's where it starts going to the fat, and that's the whole goal of it, right? The stored energy you have, it starts burning fat. Well, sometimes if you're doing it wrong and you haven't fed yourself enough protein, it will steal some energy and glucose from your muscles, and that's where you start losing muscle. So you want to be wary of that. But the thing that happens before any of this, which is fascinating, is you may think you're going into burning fat mode because your body's looking for glucose, but it really has its own small amount of reserve glucose in the kidney. So it's got to burn through that. Once the body detects that we need energy, it burns that first. That is the quick, let's grab energy, because if your body has to go to fat or muscle glucose, it has to grab it, then it has to convert it, has to do this little roundabout process. If it's going right from the liver, it just burns that glucose for energy. So that's why it has this reserve that gives you a little, your body extra time before it actually has to hit those fat storages. So that's just a weird, interesting thing that I didn't know. So that's why that time thing is so important, depending how long you fast, because you may be fasting for a certain amount of hours and you think, okay, now I'm past this point, now I'm going, I can feel my body, it's grabbing something. Like I could just feel that point where my body's suffering a little, but now I feel a little better. Oh, it must have grabbed some glucose to turn into energy because now I feel better. Well, a lot of times that's just the reserve. So if you go out of ketosis, like if you kick yourself out, shortly after that, you may not have burned any fat. You may have just burned the reserve in your liver. Very interesting. So it's very important to stay into ketosis for a longer period of time. Probably that, that 24 hour is the big first marker, but 36 hours is huge. And then the 48, that's great. You're burning a lot of fat. If you can get to 72, start helping your gut health, that really is a big marker too. I'm curious what you all do to stay in ketosis as far as what things you eat. One of my big things that I eat is, or not eat, but I'll have Diet Pepsi. I don't know what it is. There's something about having that, especially after a walk or something. It eliminates my hunger, which usually it shouldn't. They say that stuff really provokes hunger, but for me it doesn't. So a lot of times if I'm doing a fast and I'm into it for 36 hours, if I just drink a soda, I know a lot of people do coffee. They do a little bit of ghee, not butter, but ghee, tallow. There's a bunch of little tricks. Bone broth. I would do bone broth. If I go for a 72-hour fast, or even 36, 48 hours, I will start incorporating some bone broth. I just heat a small little cup and I drink that slowly, and it makes my body feel like something substantial is going in there. So let me know what your tricks and ideas are. But I just thought that's the science of the reserve glucose in your kidneys. Or your liver is very, very interesting. And the process of how it has to burn through that first before it actually gets to anything else substantial as far as fat burning goes. So music listening for the day. Today is going to be Racer X. So watch the short there. It's in the link below. I just wanted to do some good fast picking. I was given a lesson the other day. If anybody wants guitar lessons, let me know. But I was doing a fast picking thing, and my picking was there, but I haven't really focused on that in a while. So there's a Racer X tune called Street Lethal that I never learned, and I always wanted to. And Racer X is really cool because they do, especially for guitar players, they'll do like a rhythm for a measure, and then they'll do a fast picking line, and then they'll do a half a measure, and then they'll do a different kind of fast picking line. Maybe they'll incorporate a little legato, but there's all these fast licks that you have to offset, and it's such a fast tempo, hard tempo, I was gonna say. It is hard, it's hard. But it's to keep it syncopated and perfectly timed. It's very challenging. And then the solo was something I always want to learn. It's got a lot of picking, but with legato in it, and it's all 16, 30-second notes. It goes. It never stops. There's never a break in it. And there's one part where there's a real fast ascending line. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, and it goes all, and it just is a lot of notes and a lot of picking. So it's a fun little exercise to get your picking hands coordinated. So I was learning that all last night. I don't have it down. I transcribed it all, but I don't have it down yet. So I'll be working on that this weekend. And that's about it. There's a question of the day, kind of relates to the fasting thing and the ketosis. So if you want to check that out, in the description there is a link to that video. It's a very short video. Like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. I hope you guys are having a great week, and the weekend is coming. It's Friday. Hopefully you guys enjoy yourself, have some fun, live life a little bit. Next week's a new week to get back into all this good stuff, and hopefully you guys are seeing gains and feeling healthier. Like and subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Let's have a conversation, and I will see you guys on the next one.